we are going to do for our watercolor techniques is a technique called wax resist. And with wax resist, we're going to start with crayons. And crayons are made of wax, so that's where the wax part comes in. And when we paint over the top of it, the paint resists it. So I'm going to pick a few colors to start with. It doesn't matter what colors you pick. You could actually even use white, which I'll show you in a minute. But the first thing I'm going to do is draw some lines. And I'm going to draw some trees. There we go. So I'm going to draw some trees. So I'm going to start by drawing a straight line with my crayon. And here's the trick to drawing trees. Start by drawing the letter Y coming off of your main vertical line. So I'm just drawing like different size Ys. Some of them are a little larger, some of them are a little smaller. So I'm going to draw that all down the tree. Then I could even add some more lines or more Ys coming off of the first Ys that I drew. So this is an easy way that you guys can draw a tree. Then, and we'll talk about the leaves in just a second. Then I'd like for you to draw some more trees. Maybe I'm going to draw a shorter one here, and maybe this one has some swirls coming off of it instead of straight lines. And I'm going quicker now, just so you guys will have more time to work. But I really make sure that that crayon shows up really nicely. The last one I'm going to do, I'm going to draw another tree. And I know that you guys can't see the white yet, but you'll be able to in a minute. So I'm going to use my white crayon, and then I'm going to draw like a wavy line all the way down for this tree. And I'm kind of going over it again and really pressing down, not so much that I break my crayon, but enough that I know that the crayon is really there. Okay, I'm going to pause for a second and let you guys do this part, and then when we come back, we'll talk about adding the watercolor to it. Okay, so we finished the tree drawings with our crayon. So now we are going to add watercolor. So with our watercolor, each person is going to have their own watercolor tray and their own brush that comes with the watercolor. We will have to share the water cups, but that's the only thing that we'll have to share. So what we'll do, and this is a reminder to most of us, but you need to make sure that your brush is wet, so make sure you dunk it in the water. And then this is not the type of paint that you scoop. This type of paint we tickle. We very gently take our brush and tickle the paint. You're not really going to see it on your brush, and that's okay, but then we're going to come over here, and when we paint it, we'll be able to see it. So I'm going to draw different shapes for my trees. So maybe for this first one, I'm going to draw just kind of like a wavy shape. And when I paint with the watercolor, I just want to make sure that I have enough paint on my brush, and then I keep painting until I feel like I need more. So if it starts getting hairy or fuzzy like that, that means that I need more paint on my brush. So I might get some more water and put it on there. But I want you to notice the more water you use, the lighter it's going to be. So like if I wanted this to be pink, I could take my brush and put water on it and spread the paint out more so that it looks lighter. Okay, so we started red, but if I just take straight water onto the color, it's going to make it look a lot lighter. So you can practice whether you want your paint to be dark or if you want your paint to be light. Okay, so that's one way you could paint your tree. So finish painting a whole tree, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the white tree so that you can see what happens here. So I'm going to get a different color. If we're going with fall colors, maybe I'll get orange. I'm going to paint the outside of my tree. So maybe this one's like a triangle shape. And then whenever I paint over the white crayon, you'll still be able to see it. So, after I get this tree painted, I'm going to show you one other really cool watercolor technique, okay? So, the last thing that I want to show you is called wet on wet. So, the first thing, and notice too, I'm going to give you guys some paper towels so you can clean your brush in between colors because you don't want to get your colors all messy. But the middle color, the middle tree, I'm actually going to start by putting just water on my tree. Just water. And then I'm going to take my color and I'm going to dot it onto the water, and it kind of makes it look a little tie-dye-y. I don't think that's a word, but it makes it look like tie-dye. And then I'm going to drop, I can kind of put a few different colors in there, and they kind of blend and mix together. Okay, so that's putting water down first and then putting your colors on top of it, and you can kind of mix those together. So that is wet on wet. So wet paint on a wet paper. Okay, so those are some watercolor techniques that you guys can practice today.